Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. Firstly, a big apology that we didn't do the Raw stream last night. Honestly, I can't remember the last Raw stream that we missed doing, so it was very strange. But I did go out with family. It was meant to be a quick little thing, a few little drinks, turned into a much bigger thing, and then I spent the night throwing up. So I was in no condition. I didn't actually get back until like Raw was just beginning, and I immediately ran upstairs and threw up. So yeah, it's not been brilliant. I think the reason why I feel okay right now is because I've got a lot of that out of my system now, so I feel okay, still a little bit tender, but we can certainly do this video. I have watched Raw. I caught up with it this morning. If you go over to the Wrestling Days TikTok account, if you go over to the Wrestling Days Instagram account, you can see my honest live reactions as I'm watching it, because obviously I was out with family, so I didn't know what had happened, so I just watched the show. Did it like I would normally, so there are a couple of reactions that I've put up for people. Obviously the Wyatt Sicks moment and the Dexter Lumis interview, so both of those have got reactions on TikTok and Instagram. But we're back, and we will be back tonight for NXT. So let's have a look at this, shall we? This is Dave, who the other day said, could this be a take on Rob Zombie or maybe the Manson family? And I think a lot of people have looked at the cross on the head of Dexter and have asked, like, oh, what's that in reference to? Because it was quite a strange reveal. And obviously we've been talking about some of those theories, but I really love this connection with Rob Zombie. And actually, I feel like more people have been talking about Rob Zombie following the actual airing of the interview, because I mean the similarities are very, very striking. So Dave might be onto something there, but lots of different theories around what this is actually in reference to. Chris said, I just watched your video about Dexter Lumis and the cross on the head coming from Kevin Sullivan. I believe it is from him, as Sullivan was in a tag team with Bray's dad, and Waylon Mercy also was the replacement tag partner for his dad when Barry Windham left the US Express. So some wonderful history there from Chris, and really tying Kevin Sullivan to the Wyatts and kind of going back through the history. I really like that. So again, I like the Rob Zombie take. I've seen lots of people talking about that, but I think this is excellent from Chris as well. I think the honest answer is at the moment we just don't know. Or maybe it's meant to connect to quite a few different things, you know? So yeah, love that. Here we've got I'm Just Ken said, in a way that They Watched You Drown, it could connect to Howdy, making him, Dexter, anew. Either it connects to the Lake of Reincarnation or simply it's connected to the process of baptizing. Either way, it's very interesting, says I'm Just Ken. So this was the tweet. It was just a picture from the interview with They Watched You Drown, which I believe was said in the actual Dexter interview as well. Who watched him drown? That's, I think, a very interesting question. Are we talking about Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell? Because that was his family. Seemingly, it's not his family anymore. So are we talking about them? Or are we talking about producers, the establishment? Are we talking about like Triple H? Are we talking about Adam Pearce? Are we talking about those people in control that just watched Dexter struggling to get onto TV and not giving him very interesting things to do, interesting matches? They watched him drown. I can't quite tell who that's in reference to. But so for me, that would be the big question. Who watched him drown? Because that really could indicate where we go next. Right here, look, Rob Fee says, who's coming to SummerSlam? Fire, 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 fire. So Rob teasing something there of like being excited. This isn't the kind of thing that he would tend to put out, and we know that Rob is obviously in charge of all character development, so I'm sure he is excited for SummerSlam, but this has definitely got people's interest Could we still see something to do with the Wyatt Sicks at SummerSlam? I think it is disappointing that match is not going to be at SummerSlam. I personally don't understand why we've done that. I don't understand why we're doing the Wyatt Sicks on Raw rather than doing it on SummerSlam. The only answer that I can give you is that they really want to build Raw up as we continue heading towards the end of the year, because obviously we're going to move Raw to Netflix, and that is going to be a massive deal. So I wonder if they're kind of sacrificing the Wyatt Sicks SummerSlam match, putting it on Raw because it is SummerSlam worthy, and they're putting it on Raw so that, you know, loads of people tune in, and, you know, perhaps they're a little bit worried as well that maybe the Roman return is what everyone's going to be talking about. Whereas if you do it on Raw, then maybe the Wyatt Sicks can have a bit of room to breathe themselves. Like, maybe they don't want this group being overshadowed by Roman, because I feel pretty good Roman's coming back at SummerSlam. So, you know, those are just a few thoughts as to why we've maybe moved it. But that was definitely something that upset people. People, myself included, really thought this match was going to be at SummerSlam. And here's Wrestle Votes. I think this was before Raw. I didn't see it until after as I was going through my notifications, but Rowan, Gacy, Lumis against Chad and the Creed brothers next week on Raw. It will be announced later during tonight's show. That from WrestleVotes, and that's exactly the way it went. So Brony, thank you. Here we've got Little Fuego tagging me in this from SlamX. Just a wonderful image. This moment where they took their masks off. I mean, I would say, technically, we hadn't seen Dexter's face by this point. His interview was actually later in the show. Obviously, we have seen Rowans, but Joe Gacy has not had his interview yet. So I kind of feel like this moment, it feels like this moment probably should have happened after all the interviews had happened. Time-wise, I don't know if we've just got it a little bit out, but it is a bit strange for them to do this unmasking before we've done all of the interviews, you know? So, yeah, I really loved this moment, though. I mean, it was a big moment. Nothing really revealed, but I mean, I suppose what we've learned is when they wrestle, they won't be wearing the masks. They're quite happy for us to see their faces, which we've been doing in the interviews anyway. And so I'm guessing, here you go, this is what they'll be wearing when they wrestle, and they will take the masks off. And so it's another step down the road towards understanding the presentation of this group. So, yeah, I agree. Brilliant image. Blue Eyes said, I don't know if you heard Michael Cole, when he was recalling the Wyatt attack in Chad and the Creeds, he said Sister Abigail when referring to Nikki jumping off the top rope instead of Abby the Witch. Does this mean that Alexa is going to be Abby at SummerSlam? Well, we know SummerSlam's, you know, not happening, if you will, for the Wyatt Sicks, seemingly, unless they make a little appearance. Do you remember, like, we have done, like, moments at SummerSlam, so, you know, there's a chance that Chad Gable could still come out and, like, you know, run his mouth off, and then we get a Wyatt Sicks attack. They could still give them a moment, but we know the match is on Raw. In regards to, yeah, the Sister Abigail, so I don't know if that was not just a mistake, to be honest. I genuinely don't know. I mean, if they're going to go down the road of this being Sister Abigail that Nikki is portraying, I would say that, you know, that hasn't really been explained anywhere. These are the puppets brought to life. We know that the puppet was called Abby the Witch. We know that that was kind of in Bray's mind. So I don't know, like, it doesn't quite fit the story for me. I would need that explaining, right? I would need you to explain how this is Sister Abigail when there's not really anything that's kind of shown that this is Sister Abigail. So I really at this stage don't know if it wasn't just him making a slight error there. But yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on, and that is very, very interesting. Brady, shout out to you. Yeah, we just got like part of a logo. Interesting, the logo flashed, but it didn't have the full circle at the top. So again, what does that mean? I haven't actually looked to see if this means something different. That would be interesting. Like, does this mean something different? Is this no longer a Pluto symbol now? Is it a different symbol? So it needs to be a little bit of work there. So Brady, shout out to you. It's Bryn again, said Joe and Dexter look like they're going to be the tag team. And it's true, look, they do work together. So here's Joe picking up Dexter. Dexter, who actually is a bit smaller than I thought. I thought he was like bigger, more along the same lines as like Rowan. I was quite surprised seeing him next to Rowan. Like, but Rowan's just a monster, isn't it? It's not really fair. Rowan's just exceptionally big. But yeah, it looks like these two are working together. I mean, he like shoots him up and then he comes splashing down. Obviously, Rowan would then do like a crossbody as well, knock them down. I didn't think any of the moves kind of really blew my mind. There wasn't like, do you remember when we had, was it the Fiend and he was like twisting the neck? Or like when you first see a Sister Abigail or something like that. Like there wasn't really any moves like that. It would have been nice if there was something that we got that was like, whoa, that is sick. But we didn't really get anything. So maybe a missed opportunity slightly. But yeah, this looks like it could be the tag team with maybe Rowan kind of, I don't know, going after a mid-card belt or taking a bit of a back seat. But yeah, Joe and Dexter, tag team, question mark? Jazza said he looks so much like Brian Head Welsh from Korn. Real shame they aren't having their debut match at SummerSlam, said Jazza. I mean, this looks brilliant. So many people have had this picture, and then next to it, they've put the Rob Zombie picture. So, like, it's really, really cool. I think this looks so good. I think his look is so good. I mean, look at that right there. It's, you know, you could imagine him with, like, Aleister Black. Imagine those two together in, like, a tag team. So, yeah, I do love this look. Ivy Nile was watching the beatdown of the Creeds, and she's got eyes emoji. Don't know what she's thinking at the moment, but I thought that was very interesting. Bruno said Dexter Lumis is looking like Rob Zombie now, and he does, doesn't he? I feel like this must have been an inspiration, certainly with the beards and everything, because he didn't have that before. So, yeah, I mean, he really has changed his look dramatically. So yeah, I love it. Seems like this is where they got the inspiration for the X, because he's got the X on the forehead as well. So it's Bryn again, said pretty sure this was an accident. Brady said Nikki removed her mask, so she didn't have her mask on. I actually don't know. I can't quite tell if that's a glove or if what that is. I don't know if that is her mask. It's all really blurry. I mean, it very much could be. But, yeah, I don't know. She did a crossbody and then took it off. I mean, all the others took their masks off. Or as it's Bryn again said, maybe it was an accident. It's a bit wild to try and do a crossbody whilst having that mask on, though. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure if it was an accident. Not sure if it was planned. But interesting that she wasn't wearing her mask either. Holland G says, Pluto sign behind Dakota. Why? Do you know, I saw this and my first thought was, I remember, and I can't find it, but there was a Pluto sign in the background behind someone else. And I just think that there's a Pluto sign that is painted onto some of this, whatever this is. I think that Pluto sign has been there and is on that for quite a while. I don't know that that has been put there just for this show. I don't know that that means they're going to target Dakota and Damage Control. I remember seeing a Pluto sign just like this, and I really can't remember who it was behind, but you're going back a good few weeks / months, and it was exactly like that in the background behind somebody, and I'm starting to wonder, have they just put a Pluto sign on something backstage, and then we just keep seeing it popping up and we all get excited going, oh my god, they're going to come after Damage Control, who seem to have turned face. Maybe they now are in a feud with like Sonya and Shayna and Zoe, and like, I don't know, that seems a bit strange. There is nothing here that makes me think that the Wyatt Sicks are going to go after Damage Control. I mean, it just wouldn't make sense. So I'm thinking that this is actually just painted on something backstage, and it keeps popping up every now and again. So I would take that with a pinch of salt, unless we see something else, like, you know, next week or whenever we see them next, and like it starts to become a pattern. Then I'm interested. But at the moment, I'm gonna say there's nothing going on here. But obviously, we're keeping an eye. Love the graphic, by the way. Graphic looks amazing, and you can see that they've got Mercy, they've got Huskus, they've got Rambling Rabbit. No sign of Howdy. So it does seem to be going the way that we speculated, in the sense of, I think Howdy will take the back seat. I think he'll allow the group to be the ones that actually compete in the match. Howdy will compete, I've no doubt about that, at some point. But as we said, this group is about those that have been pushed to the side, that have been overlooked. So it makes sense to give them the floor, give them the spotlight. And so that's what they've got next week on Raw. This was good. I'm Just Ken said, in the Lumis VHS tape, Uncle Howdy said to him, they built an empire by the sea just to watch you drown. And I found this from Bray. So here's a Bray official account from 2019. I will build my empire next to the sea so I can laugh from my throne as my enemies drown. That was Bray Wyatt, apparently 2014. A quote from 2014. So how interesting that that was referenced by Dexter. So, or by Howdy. I will build my empire next to the sea so I can laugh from my throne as my enemies drown. Here, look, we've got the bear said, good to see another Fiend Bray Easter egg on Rowan's jacket in the form of praying hands. Original photo from Joe Lemke, photo on Instagram. So I believe it's just a patch on the side, look, praying hands. Yeah, very, obviously very much back to Bray, who I believe them had praying hands on his shirt. So many little Easter eggs everywhere. So exciting. Here's Jason Baker said, I love Nikki Cross and how she's gone from Nikki ASH, almost a superhero, to Nikki AHS, American Horror Story. I'm here for it. It is true. What a transformation. She's killing it as well, isn't she, in this role? She's doing so well. Here's that Joe photo as well of the unmasking, which people love. And then Henry, shout out to you. So the Wyatt Sicks make their in-ring debut on Raw next week in Baltimore. It's the same arena the Wyatt family made their debut a little over 11 years ago. Boom, love that. So there is a connection as well as to why we would be doing it next week. Love that. I think that's brilliant. Okay, a couple of bits here from Raw. So here, look, Walter said, crosses of the eyes like Bray used to do in the Firefly Funhouse. Very true. It doesn't mean anything, but it was just a really good observation. This, of course, is from the Liv interview vignette thing. This was all trashed, and they said it was Liv, but I'm sure I wasn't alone in looking at the word liars and thinking to myself, is this the Wyatt Sicks? I still wonder, actually, if it's going to turn out to be the Wyatt Sicks that have done this. But Tyler said Finn's face was the only one not vandalized. So it looks like she's, if it is Liv, it looks like she's gone after everyone except for Finn, which is an excellent observation. Excellent. I love that. So yeah, really cool. Really cool. But I did look at liars, and I did look at, you know, a few of the little bits and bobs and wonder, is it Liv, or are they going to swerve us? Here we've got Def266 said, is that a Pluto logo on the chair? I don't think it is, actually. It's a circle with something coming off, but I don't think it's got the half circle underneath it. But it does sort of look very, very close. Very, very close. I mean, I could believe if you were able to like really zoom in that it may be, but I don't think it is. I'm leaning more towards no than yes, but it is very interesting, some of this imagery that's on that chair. Very interesting. So, Def266, shout out to you. Sweet Chin Wrestling said he's been watching Wrestling Days. Seth Rollins said, this is just the appetizer, baby. You've got to tune into SummerSlam on Saturday for the main course. We're gonna be eating goods. So there we go. There he is with his referee attire. I was really disappointed when he did his segment and he was saying, like, you know, what I say goes. If I want to count 10, I'll count 10. If I want to count 20, I'll count 20. Like, this was what I was worried about, was that he's going to faff around. I just really want to see Drew versus CM Punk, like, going at each other, having a banging match. And hearing Seth say that, you know, the rules are going to be the rules, you know, maybe there won't be any DQs and all that. It's going to be referees' discretion. And I'm like, oh, God, it's not the match I want. That's not the match that I'm personally looking for. But hopefully they're cooking something good up. It's Bryn again, just letting us know that The Miz is the official host of SummerSlam. That, of course, announced on Raw. Logan James said Io Sky and Kairi Sane with Dakota Kai are bringing back the Lucha Underground Black Lotus Triad look. Now, I never saw this group in Lucha Underground, but yes, I can see that. You can see the connection. So, yeah, that's really cool. I thought Damage Control looked really good here. It's just a bit strange because I still see them as heels, and clearly Zoe, Sonya, Shayna are heels. So just it doesn't make a great deal of sense doing heels versus heels. But again, let's see where that goes. And here's Chase Curry said, did we have a slip? Yeah, a graphic was shown that said Rhea Ripley, Women's World Champion, and she was holding the belt. So I think this must have been an old, incorrect graphic for Rhea Ripley that did get played, did get shown. So little bit of a production botch there. Right, a couple of fun things. John Cena is going to be in the first episode of season 36 of The Simpsons. Right, apparently he's going to be at Bart's birthday. And there's a few other guests that are going to be there as well. So I just thought that was really cool. And then Kanye said, can we get a trash of the night? His foot wasn't caught in the ropes. It was caught in the ref. It is true, look. He's not really very tangled up. The ref's trying to make it look like he's more tangled than he actually is. If we take the sound down, look, all he's done is he's got his leg over that rope. That's it. Why is the ref faffing around here? Like, what's the issue? There is no issue. There's no problem. He's just got his leg over the middle rope. That's all. Like, the ref seems to be trying to make it more complicated than it actually is. So, yeah, another little botch from this week's Raw, but nothing serious. And then other, just one thing in other, and it's this. This is amazing. Local promotion photo from a newspaper to promote the first ever King of the Ring in 1986. I have never seen this image before, with some absolutely incredible talent on here. George the Animal Steel and Harley Race and Junkyard Dog and Rowdy Roddy Piper. That's Billy Jack Haynes. That's Don Morocco. I think that's Dan Spivey. Not sure who this is. Then we've got Iron Sheik. That's Bray's dad, of course. Pedro Morales. That is Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff. Nikolai Volkov. Is that Outback Jack, is it? Or is that Randy's dad? That could be Bob Orton, couldn't it? Looking at the hair. Can't quite see it. I think that might be Bob Orton. Not sure who this is, though. But there we go. That is a poster for King of the Ring from 1986. Very, very cool. Right. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.